Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back at it again for another review. Today we are going to be reviewing the Transformers Legacy United Commander Class Magmatron, along with my friend and colleague.
How's it going, everybody? BC here.
And now with those guys out of the way, taking a look at the packaging here, we got a nice bright image here of Magmatron on the front. It's got images of the dinosaur modes, it says Legacy United, Magmatron, Transformers. Got some nice artwork of the different dinosaurs on the sides, and then right here, got nice artwork with him right there, and 40 years of Transformers. All kinds of stuff on product images on the back. Nothing much here on the top, except some nice little Easter eggs hidden throughout the artwork. Authentic Transformers! And here's now taking a look at all of Magmatron's accessories. These purple blast effects are really nice, but honestly, he kind of doesn't need them. And I mean, it's kind of obvious what this shield really is, right?
Get in my belly!
And now let's take a look at the dinosaurs by starting with the smallest one. And here's now taking a look at the Pteranodon.
Quetzalcoatlus, you stupid... whatever.
The Quetzalcoatlus. It's got some very nice molding and sculpted details, some nice little like wrinkled, kind of leathery texturing going across, kind of giving it that skin texture. I also like the gold and silver paint here for the claws, as well as here on the feet as well. And overall, I just really like how this thing looks. Some more gold there in the face, some nice silver and pink there in the mouth as well. Gold there for the eyes. On the underside of the wings, he does have these nice pink, painted parts right down under here to give him that little bit more depth. There's also this little purple gem right there, the spark gem right there with the Predacon logo inside of it. Really nice that Hasbro brought these back for this figure. I'm really happy seeing those again after a long time. And yeah, as shown before, this is where you can store the little red sword blades here on the wings. And again, going over this little guy's posability, he's got a ball joint in the head that allows his head to swivel all the way around and to look up and down. And then, of course, his mouth can open. And then he has an extra hinge joint right here, which also allows him to look down. That combined with the ball joint allows him to look down even farther. He's got these flapping hinges here at the wings. So he's also got these hinge joints right here so his arms can move forward. And then he also has this little ball joint here at the little claw wrists right there. And then there's also some rotation right here. And then finally another hinge joint right here. And that finishes off the wings. And then he's got a ball joint here at the hips that go forward and back. Hinge joint here, and a hinge joint here at the foot, which allows for all kinds of natural movement here in those bird legs. So very nice little posable little guy. This guy is a lot of fun to mess around with. And now taking a look at the Loch Ness monster kind of looking one.
Elasmosaurus. Seriously, do you know anything?
You don't need to comment every single time. Just like the Quetzalcoatlus, it's got some nice little texturing right there, some leathery texturing, just giving it that bit of realism right here. Some little highlights of paint going across. And again, I like the sculpting of him, and he is very satisfying to hold. Everything fits together very well. All that molding and sculpting continues up the neck right here. And overall, I do like the way how the head sculpt also looks as well, with those bits of paint right there in the eyes. He's got some nice silver there in the teeth, some pink in the mouth. And also another thing I appreciate about this figure, we're kind of getting into the articulation at this point, but I like how they have hinge joints here in the neck instead of ball joints like the old toy did, because now we can guarantee this figure is going to stay tight and sturdy with these particular joints, because the ball joints would have made this thing really floppy and loose, and no one really seems to like them when balls go floppy and loose. That's what she said. And then he's got a hinge joint right here with a ball joint right there, and then a hinge joint here at the back flipper. So very nice little articulation on this guy, and overall, this guy is definitely a blast to also mess around with. And now taking a look at the Giganotosaurus.
Oh, you actually got that one right. Good job.
The Giganotosaurus here's got some nice details going across it. I like the silver teeth in there. It's got some green in the eyes, very piercing. I like this like kind of off-white going across his back. And the scaling detail is definitely the best it's been on this figure in particular. Little bits of silver there for the claws on the arms as well as there on the feet for those toes. And I just overall really like it. The crotch is a little questionable. That's also what she said. But overall, there's not really any kibble or anything on this guy, and I just really like the way how this one looks as well. The posability is also really nice. The head can look left and right. He can look up and down as well. And as you hinge it upward, you can also move this little neck piece as well. But one little complaint I do have is the mouth only opens that much. It looks less like a roar and more like he's just really annoyed, like, eh. The ball joints here on the arms can rotate, they can move in and out. The hips can also move outward to the side, but it exposes more of that interior. He does have like thigh swivel and hinging. Knees can hinge forward and back on those ratchets. Ankles can also move forward and back as well. He's also got ankle pivot. Also, by the way, it should be known that the sword handle from earlier forms into this guy's crotch. Not an exaggeration. Also, the blade stores inside of the tail. Tail can move upward, and it can also wag from side to side. So, overall, not bad posability here on the Giganotosaurus. And now let's get into the size comparisons for these guys. Here they are compared next to the last Commander class figure I took a look at, the Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus. Here they are next to Kingdom Beast Wars Megatron, Kingdom Optimus Primal, and then finally, here they are with fellow Japanese Beast Wars characters, the Leo Prime.
The audacity to call him by the American name, I oughta smack you.
Lio Convoy, and Tasmania Kid. And now with comparisons out of the way, let's get right on into these guys' transformations. And here's now taking a look at the Manticore mode.
Magmasaurus. God, are you even trying?
I cannot believe this thing has an official name. And yeah, it looks kind of cool, I guess. It's got posability.
What the hell is even that?
Yeah, let's move on. And here is now Magmatron all fully combined. And now taking a look at Magmatron's grimacing face right there. I love the green in the eyes, the gold in the head crest, and especially those nice shiny silver teeth in there. I really love the way how this guy's menacing face came out. And overall, I also like the way how it cohesively goes with these giant wings here, though I do understand how ridiculous this kind of looks for a head sculpt. And moving down the rest of the body, I love these highlights of gold here from the Quetzalcoatlus' beak and feet. And then I also like how it's got these extra red finger-looking molded details right there and how everything's all painted very cleanly. It's almost like he's wearing the beast armor stuff, almost like he's wearing a jacket of animals that he's killed. But yeah, overall, I love the also asymmetrical design going on. How he's got the gunmetal gray here, but then he's got the gold right here. And again, there's another one of those purple Predacon gems going on right there. And not too big of a fan of these hip skirts here. I feel like these are a little too big and get in the way. I feel like it would have been better to find a way for these to plug in to the sides right here somehow, or I don't know how else they could have engineered this. But overall, I don't mind it that much. It's just a minor qualm. I also like the crotch detail going on right there. That's also what she said. And overall, he's also got, the same dinosaur legs right there with all the nice scaly detail that we saw. Only now, on the back of the legs, he's got this nice gunmetal gray piston detail going on right here. And he's got these heels that also look really nice. But he still has the tail kind of jetting out of his butt. And to be completely honest, this does get really annoying. I would have wished that this was a removable piece somehow, but it's not too big of an issue, especially considering He already has so much back kibble and so much going on back here that this being a removable or being another piece that transformed somewhere else would have been a benefit. And now getting into Magmatron's posability, as shown before, the head does swivel to left to right, but because of the giant wings, they do kind of get in the way. But just like in the beast mode, the wings can fold forward and back, they can hinge up and down, they can also swivel from side to side. Head right here can also move for the shoulder. This one, not really. Shoulders can rotate a full 360 on nice tight ratchets. They can move in and out. He does also get a bicep swivel. He's also got over 90 degrees of bend at a double jointed elbow right there. And then his wrists do rotate, and they do also have a hinge joint right there. And then he's got the hinge joint with the claws and the thumb. And then he does also possess a waist swivel, but the problem is you have to make sure that this panel is flipped upward, so then it's not protruding into the tail, so he can waist swivel. And then on top of that, if you unhinge this joint right here, oh, come on. And if you unclip the waist, you can give this guy an ab crunch, but again, with how much kibble there is and how loose it is, it kind of doesn't matter. Bit of a waste, to be honest. As mentioned before, this flap moves, tail moves up and down, and it still wags from side to side. And then these hip skirts do move out of the way to accommodate for the split at the legs. They can rotate forward, they can rotate back that far, they can move outward to the side.
You cranked his hip joint to the side twice. Why did you crank the hip joint to the side twice? Why?
He does get a nice thigh swivel, over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. He does get an ankle pivot, and if you untab this bit, his ankles can move forward like so. And now getting into the robot mode size comparisons. Here he is with Commander Class Ultra Magnus, Beast Wars Kingdom Megatron, Optimus Primal, and then Lio Convoy and Tasmania Kid. Overall, I think this figure is very good. I am happy that this guy was a Commander class and they didn't try to shoehorn him into a HasLab. I guarantee the HasLab would have been nice, and some of the issues I do have on this figure I guarantee would have been fixed and managed better on a HasLab. But as it stands, I'm glad that we still got this figure as is, because I think Hasbro still knocked it out of the ballpark when it comes to having the Commander class and its price point. And overall, it's just a fun set. Even the individual dinosaurs as well are also really fun toys to play around with as well. And again, the whole Magmasaurus combined form is just a bonus, but it's nothing really to really, praise it for. But it is still cool that it's able to pull it off. And also, I appreciate, getting the blast effects and the posability and just overall, just a great set all around, and just overall, I just really like the figure, the details, and even though I don't know too much about the character as much as some people, I do really like the toy. And yeah, if I had to give this figure a rating, I give him a very, very solid 9 out of 10 out of 10. yeah, total 10 out of 10. Yep, that's totally what I was going to give it. So yeah, that is basically it for this review. If you guys liked it, give me a like on the video. Also, be sure to follow my friend and colleague BC for his reviews and for the Scrapyard podcast. I'll leave a link in the description. And, subscribe to Briximus Prime, my channel, for more, toy reviews and action figure content. And I'll catch you guys next time.